Good morning, Internet. I'm Master Bryss, and I'm a colossal moron. I recorded this part as a solo thing on my own, but I forgot to record it with the good microphone. Again, I'm a moron. This may become colossally apparent. Also, I taught Volcano to glomp. That's a thing I did to increase his coverage. Anyway, the point of this solo video originally was that I would travel back to Mount Doom. I would reach the top of the inside of Mount Doom, and I would find TM30, which I believe has been renamed Ghost Clump, and teach it to glomp, thus completing his transformation into a killing machine. I considered doing that double battle back there, and then I decided against it. I originally did this video with tea. I have no tea now. This is a very disappointing turn of events. Oh well. Mount Doom. Still full of graves and people on the bottom floor, thus giving the indication that nothing is wrong, apart from the fact that Swablu with Shadow Tag are now a thing. With a completely different colour scheme, I don't understand that one. Nor do I understand the fact that the Shuppet and Banette XPs don't actually evolve into each other. He split them to make two separate standalone ghost Pokemon, which is why wild things with the cry of Banette are a thing. We're switching to Stifle because Stifle deals with these things better. See that as the cry of Shuppet, I think. Look at this cleanse tag. It helps reduce battles with wild Pokemon. I'll take it, but I won't because my bag is full. Get a bigger bag then? Anyway, proceeding up, we find... yeah. That's not a glitch. That's supposed to be there, I think. Just talking to it does absolutely nothing for reasons that completely evade me. And I've just realised that since I'm doing this in post-commentary mode, I could technically look up advanced map because there's something I want to look up in it that about this particular thing that kind of bothers me. You see, there are no people here. No matter how many floors we go up, there are no people, there are no items. Even the lax and the sea incense are gone. So there was no TM30 Ghost Clump for me to actually obtain in the first place. That's kind of disappointing. And yes, here we go. I have loaded Topaz up into advanced map. I am scrolling. Ah, here we are, Mount Doom. Movement permission, events. Oh! This is interesting. Because looking at it, I can actually see all the events for the people. They do exist. There were supposed to be trainers in here. And by that logic, I think there were probably supposed to be items as well. They have their own movement types. They have their own scripts. And that was meant to be a thing. There were meant to be trainers in here. But for reasons that I can't explain, they're all gone. And with them is the Shadow Ball TM we really should have obtained. I am incredibly disappointed. So very disappointed. But I can't say it's completely unexpected. But yeah, I looked it up and now I know. There were supposed to be trainers here, but for some unexplained reason, they were all removed, even though their scripting clearly exists here. How bizarre. I then decided to go out here and check for the Shadow Ball TM, but upon the conclusion that he probably didn't change any of the item balls, considering I found everything else in the right places so far, I just decided to head back. Anyway. That would have been it. But I can't really end the video here because it's only like 4 minutes in. Well, it was technically 5 minutes at this point because I cut out some of the unnecessary walking in the edit, but just kind of here. We've got to actually do something. So let's go to the next town. That's what we'll do. We shall mount up on the surf route, and we shall head in the general direction of the next town, and we shall feel good about doing so. Except, Marshy Sea is apparently marshy. It's not just a surf route. He actually took one of the complaints about Hoenn, the fact that the late game is mostly water, and he did something about it. Well done, Hakesmith. Well done. This marshy sea is real shallow. It rocks for skimboarding. This book is really thin. It's great for skim reading. Yeah, similar logic, I guess. There have been weirder bits of logic. The Cartesian circle immediately comes to mind, but only because I'm in a bit of a philosophical mindset. I'm only doing this video because... Oh, yeah, right, and that was a close call. I was genuinely panicking about that. I could have lost Stifle there, but I didn't. And I'm grateful for that. I'm incredibly grateful for that. Anyway, back to what I was doing. Anyway, I'm trying to write this legal theory essay. It's a critique of Gerald Dworkin's paternalism essay that he wrote in 1980 Fitsit, in which he talks about John Stuart Mill. These names should be vaguely... Well, at least the name Mill should be familiar if you read my Dark Violet Social Experiment run, because I named everything after famous thinkers. I'm disappointed I had to put that on hiatus, but then the hack does need to be finished, so... Necessity. It's a thing. Also, there is grass on this route. But we're not going to get to that yet, because we have to deal with best mates Juan and Sam first. Good old best mates Juan and Sam. And they've got themselves a Thunderlow and a Barbish. Barbish we've met its Caravana, and therefore by that logic I think we can safely assume that Thunderlow is the Chinchou XP. Which we won't meet until underwater, because there must still be an underwater in this game. No doubt it will be equally confusingly mapped, and will annoy the hell out of me. I'm currently being annoyed the hell out of me by Quartz's underwater maps, because I seem to have somehow gotten to about a point where my progress in this is about similar to my progress in randomized Quartz, so I'm doing relatively the same events twice, but with different takes on it. It's rather strange. And it shows how some of these Ruby hacks don't really have that much changed about the events. Wonder if Battlefire will be the same when I get to that. If I get to that. Hope I get to that. Anyway, as I was saying, once you go down and start obeying my script, there we are! There is grass on this route. And it's filled with nothing but Birdian. This is good. Well, it's not good for me, because it means I can't really get a catch here, and I'm actually lying when I say it's full of nothing but Birdian. There's the odd Biral. That is about it, as far as route variety for this section goes. On the other hand, if he hasn't changed the EV yields for everything, then these Birdians should be dropping 2 attack EVs per pop. So, this place is actually a really nice place to train for the upcoming gym. It'll become increasingly apparent why it is a good place to train for the upcoming gym once we actually get to said upcoming gym. But for now, I'm just going to try and get Glomp to level 37 and try and get them attack EVs, because Glomp has an attack hindering nature and he needs all the help he can get. Seriously, Biral's the rare encounter for this. I was expecting... I don't know what I was expecting, really. He could have done so much more with this, but he didn't. It's kind of disappointing. Also, Glomp does not learn Counter because... Counter? Why would I want him to learn Counter? What good is Counter going to do us? Here we have the Shard Hunter's house. That's still a thing. And his dialogue is exactly the same as it is in vanilla, which is disappointing, but ah well. Here we have Green Sea Isle. But we're going to ignore it for now because I want to find the Shoal Cave XP and get a catch for there as well. Because we're just swimming in reserves for this game. We really are. So many reserves. Why on earth did I dismount there? I don't know. Anyway, here is the Shoal Cave. Or rather, the freezer. See, Baza thought it would be a good idea to remove all of the floors of Shoal Cave except the bottom one where you occasionally find Snorunt. Again, for reasons that I don't understand. The Never Melt Ice is still down here, so it's clear that this is just the bottom floor of the Shoal Cave. Wonder what he did with... Oh! Maybe he used the other maps for the Shoal Cave to make all those weird connector caves that are present in everywhere else on the map. Because it would be too much effort to put in original maps. He just had to borrow them from places where they were no longer needed. Unfortunately, our catch for here is not the Snorunt XP, it is Frosty, who, as it turns out, despite the colour scheme, is the Schwiel XP. And the fact that it knows Body Slam and things would also give it away. Throw a ball, and Frosty was caught. Frosty, snowball Pokemon. Frosty slides around icy ponds. As it has no limbs, it has no control over itself, which causes this Pokemon to crash into snowdrifts. We shall name you Noses, after complaining about the incredibly weird perspective of your nose in this sprite. Or maybe his moving animation is that his nose moves up and down. I don't know, because I'll never use him. I don't know, I could use him if it all goes to pot, but I don't think it's going to go to pot. Also note that male and female divers have the exact same sprite. Battle-wise, anyway, they're separate overworld sprites, that's how I know they're male and female divers. Right, back to Green Sea, and this is not the Space Center. It's the gym. Leader Spike, his poison is lethal to you. Yeah. We got a poison leader in a game where half our team is made of steel types. To say that I am happy about this development is a bit of an understatement. I feel like a room without a roof. Which actually, come think of it, is an equally stupid statement, because if a room has no roof, it is open to attacks from the elements, and all of the furniture inside it will get wet, and that's not really a nice way to be. No. I wouldn't want to be a room without a roof and have soggy sofas. Nobody wants a soggy sofa. Nobody. This is the secret base invader man. Of course he's a chav. What else was he gonna be? Head up north, you'll hit the freezer. I'm not making that up. The name is silly enough that he could be. That is just the normal guy who's supposed to be there. I guess they must have replaced the old man sprite for that guy with sunglasses that looks like a guy from Earthbound sprite. Can't remember seeing a single old man this hack. Maybe they just kill their old people when they reach a certain age. It could be that kind of region. Oh yeah, and there's a tunnel that connects all the different bits of the island, even though it's really easy to navigate. Which is incredibly strange. I don't know why he did that. Allegedly, it's been done to preserve the local wildlife, but I went into the cave. The local wildlife is Broudley and that thing that evolves from Broudley. And that's the extent of it. This is also not the Space Center. This is a fast food restaurant. Inside there are many empty chairs, some fat people, and one woman who finds a sunstone in her burger. Not joking. Also, there's no order counter, and there's a guy upstairs who says, "Get out, the restaurant is full," when it clearly isn't. The rest of this place is just full of fat jokes, so we're going to ignore it. In fact, there's not really much else I can say for this update, so I think I'm just gonna call it here. So, that was this update. Next time I will get Metal Satan out of the box, I will evolve him to his fully evolved form, and then we shall take on the Poison Gym. yes, it's still a double battle at the end. Look forward to that. See you next time!